Tuscaloosa. Ryan Fowler stops by to wrap it up on a Friday. They made me do 15 hours of sports talk radio this week. Not sure what in the heck is going on. But we are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And we appreciate you listening to the show. And the show is brought to you by the Men's Clinic in Madison, themanthing.com. Dr. Mike Manning, Dr. Cliff Adams, the Men's Clinic in Madison, anti-aging clinic for men, powered by themanthing.com. It's on Highland Colony, and it is right down from Juniker Jewelry Store. You see what I did there? The Men's Clinic in Madison, themanthing.com. 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Ryan Fowler joins us on the Yuengling Oktoberfest guest line. Ryan Fowler, good morning, bud. How are you?
Man, it is good to be on Out of Bounds, but, my audience yesterday was calling you Inbounds, so they were agreeing with you. I mean, you had them so fired up. You came on at 2:15. Okay, I could have canceled every guest for the remaining part of the show. We had people waiting an hour and 30 minutes to rebuttal or to agree with what you said, because you finally came in and told them something that they needed to hear. But I guess everybody was, afraid to say it. But you did, and man, I mean, I could have just put it on cruise control for like 4 hours yesterday.
All right, was it the part where I said that your coordinators are not that good?
Yeah. They kind of agreed with that. There was a lot of people that chimed in and wanted to back you up on that. So they were all fired up. I mean, it was, but. And then we heard from College Station. We had a guy call in from, believe it or not, Delano, Texas, which is about halfway between Austin and College Station. And he told us, he said they are starting to turn from a local sports talk radio standpoint. He said they're starting to turn on Jimbo Fisher. He said they're starting to realize what we've been saying for years. He rode a quarterback to a national title, a great one. Not a great human being, but a great quarterback. And, that's where Jimbo lies. And his offense looks like it's something from 20 years ago. He's not evolved. He's not adapted. And, I told you yesterday, I think, he's going to continue a little losing streak here. I think he'll go to Starkville, probably get beat there. Go to Tuscaloosa, he'll get beat there. I mean, there's a lot more. He's trying to flip quarterbacks. I think that news coming out this morning that Hayes Kings is not going to be the starting quarterback. They're going to go with Max Johnson. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's your system. It's not a quarterback.
Ryan Fowler, Roll Tide Insider, Tuscaloosa 109 The
But
Game.
I need to apologize. I need to apologize to your audience.
Okay, why?
Because I told them that Alabama's offensive line was going to be better, and it's worse. I missed it. So for those out there that took my advice and went out and maybe they went to Silver Star and laid a little coin, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I can't refund everybody's money. All I can do is offer an apology.
Okay. How bad? What was it like on your show on Monday, even though y'all won? And a win is a win. But what was it like on your show on Monday? Was it like you lost the game?
I walked in. Thankfully, the show that's prior to mine, they don't take any phone calls. They just do guests, okay? So they don't take phone calls. And I walked in at 1:15. My show starts at 2 o'clock. And at that point, there had been people that had been waiting for an hour and 15 minutes to get on. It was jam-packed before I ever even walked in. I mean, literally, I walked in the door. I look up at the call board. I'm going, maybe I need to check that score again. It was very disappointment. We had callers that wanted to go outside and fight, and they agreed with one another. I mean, that was the funniest thing. We literally had people wanting to fight, and they were agreeing with one another. And I'm like, guys, you guys are saying the same thing. It's just a different way. It's
you had guys that were agreeing that wanted to go fight. That is Sun Belt and Southern and football, if I've ever heard it. How many guys have done that in a bar over the last 40 years in the South? agreed on
Oh, a
something,
bunch.
but couldn't figure out exactly what was going on and then decided to fight.
Yeah, and I had to be the facilitator. And then it continued for like 2 days. And I go, guys, y'all are pretty much saying the same thing. It's just different. Well, he's questioning my allegiance to Alabama.
Questioning?
I said, no, he's just – yeah, because that's a big thing. You got to be able to get that fan card, and you don't want to get it revoked.
Right.
And I think one of the guys had said, well, he needs to – if he doesn't want to support Alabama, then he needs to just turn his card in and forget it. And then this guy came in and explained that he'd been a fan for 40-something years, and he'd been to more games. That's one of those. So,
Blake, we should question Res Dog's allegiance to Mississippi State. We should start doing that. I like that.
Here's my question.
Big win.
Here's my question to Ryan. Was the reason the fallout was so bad was because y'all realized for the second straight year Georgia owns Alabama?
Oh gosh, this isn't going to land well.
Well,
Ryan Fowler?
No, it does. It does. When you look at Georgia, the way that they're playing, and here it is. Here's what hurts. Okay, Alabama fans want to win a certain way, right? Play great defense and bloody people's nose on the offensive line. And Nick Saban has pretty much said that that's not college football anymore. Well, there's a team over in Athens, Georgia, that does it. And they're doing it like Alabama style. And so that does. I mean, listen, it does. And especially, coming off a national title. But Georgia listen, I've been critical of Kirby. I can't even say it, what we call Kirby over here, because I'll just get all kind of crazy stuff. But
go ahead if it's okay for radio.
I mean, no, it's okay for radio. I'm not keeping it clean. We call him Kirby Freeze. Smart over here.
Wow, you incorporate a little Hugh Freeze into Kirby Smart's name.
Yeah, because Kirby kind of got a lot of those recruits. But hey, now that's legal, right? So you can't call him Kirby Freeze. Smart. So we just call him Kirby Smart now. But he's built that program. He's laid the foundation.
Are they better than y'all right now?
I hate to play them. Yeah. It's just this offensive line, guys. And I talked with someone off the record just a couple of days ago, not a coach here, but another coach. And he said, guys, you are getting destroyed in your interior guard play. So my question is how did they get to this point? How did they get to the level of they're okay at tackles, but they had to go get a Vanderbilt transfer to fix that, right? Let that sink in. Alabama had to go to Vanderbilt to get a tackle because they couldn't develop their own.
Yikes.
Let that sink in for a minute.
Why don't you have an explosive top 10 pick first-round wide receiver on your roster? Or if you do, what's going on?
Well, that's another development side of things. They recruited 4 and 5 stars at that position. And I don't know, listen, when you look at Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jamison Williams, you're not going to continue that run. That run was, historic. But they don't have anybody right now that can stretch the field. And I think that's one of the problems because you can't run the football with consistency unless it's just some kind of a miscue and you take advantage of the other team, not being improper or maybe not expecting it. You cannot run the football against quality competition. You can't run it on the road either. That's been like for 5 games. They haven't been able to run the football on the road. Well, then everybody knows that you want to throw the football. And I think Bryce Young has masked a lot of problems. I think he's covered up a lot of issues, and he's made it seem like that it wasn't there. My question is, if you gave him a great offensive line, keep in mind, this offensive line last year was 121 in the country in sacks allowed. In other words, there was only 9 other teams in college football worse than protecting their quarterback than Alabama was. And I think right now this unit may be. Now, listen, they could fix it. I mean, they've got a new offensive line coach, but Doug Marrone was that bad in Tuscaloosa, and now he's no longer here. So you've got Eric Walford, which, by the way, his unit was, going to Gainesville and whip them in the trenches. So he'll get there. I just don't know at what point will that happen.
So where's the disconnect? You're still signing the same players, but you're not like hitting on all cylinders. You don't have more than one receiver that can stretch the field. You don't look like you're even close to dominant on the offensive line. You can't run the football. Where's the disconnect from signing day to the field?
This is another big part of it. And this is where college football's headed. And I think when you look at Sunday afternoon, they want those teams to be 500, right? They want everybody to be close to 500 because it keeps everybody engaged. Well, I don't think Alabama's dropped down. I think college football has caught up. And I think the transfer portal, people forget they lost 19 guys in the transfer portal. They lost 19 guys in the transfer portal this recycle. That's an entire recruiting class. So I think when you are a backup player, if you're a backup player and you think you can play, you're gone. You're going to that next stop. So when you look at this Alabama team, yeah, they got a lot of talent. And I think with the way Nick Saban does it, playing right now, I mean, you have to because you're in a dogfight, right? Every single game.
Well, yeah, you get everybody's best shot, which is what you got last weekend.
People, yeah. Well, and I'm sure Texas will never. I mean, they won't play like that for the next couple of years. But you gave them that shot because you went there and you played as bad as you did, and so those Texas fans smelled blood in the water. And if it hadn't been for Bryce Young, they would have been all over the field.
Let's get serious, though. Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa, Sports Talk Radio, afternoon drive. Here are the games.
Y'all do know that Nick Saban is paying us to do this, right? I mean, he told us he was tired of hearing rat poison. So we've now went to the other side.
Okay.
I mean, this is all. He put us up to this.
And Saban got a little woolly with that offensive line preseason, which is not like him. And then for them to play like they did was even more of a surprise.
It was.
At Arkansas, let's just lay it out. At Arkansas, at Tennessee, at LSU, at Ole Miss. I mean, those are the away games. Y'all haven't played well on the road like you told me on your show yesterday. You didn't play well at Florida. You lost at A&M. You didn't play well at Auburn. If Bigsby stays in bounds, you lose. You didn't play well at Texas. Do you think that y'all are going to find the magic elixir, or y'all can drop one of those 4 road games that I just referenced?
Right now, I would say that there's a loss there. I don't know where it is. Could it be at Arkansas? Oh, yeah, by the way, the guy that leads the SEC in sacks and the guy that is I think he's the leading tackler at Arkansas was here, and you couldn't keep him engaged. Drew Sanders. Look at what he's doing up there. He's absolutely dominating there. And they moved him to a different position. They moved him inside, which I thought that they could have moved here. So you play an Arkansas team, physically, they're going to beat you in the trenches. I think they'll beat Arkansas because I think the focus for the next couple of weeks will be to improve. The game that I'm worried about, Norman Harper told me, and I laughed at him back at SEC Media Days, is you go to Arkansas, you come back to Texas A&M here, which will be an emotional game regardless if Texas A&M's got 4 or 5 losses. And then you load the buses the next week and you go to Knoxville. That's a tough run. That's especially if Josh Heupel's truly got this team, which it looks like, they're a pretty good football team. That may be the challenge. Go into Knoxville, unless they can fix this offensive line. And now Nick Saban did say on Wednesday morning that they had to be more diverse in their play calling. And let me put that in plain English. They're too predictable. They're too predictable on the offensive side of the football. I mean, everybody in the stadium knows, most of the time what they want to do. So the defensive coordinator definitely knows. So it's a tough run. When you look at Alabama on the road, the way they played, the only team that they played well against was in Starkville, 49-9 last year. Everybody else, they struggled. Should have got beat down in Gainesville.
I'm trying to remember when I left that game.
Should have got beat at Auburn. Should have got beat at Auburn last year. And then should have probably got beat at Texas. So on the road, these things have been not very good.
All right. So basically, Saban's on the hot seat.
No, basically we win the national title because, see, we're all part of the process. I'm telling you, man, this is all designed.
Let me ask you this.
Saban
in the
gave
SEC,
me the talking points earlier, and he said, you gotta make this team like the sorriest team we've ever had. So that's my goal.
In the SEC West, I know you're the most talented team. Are you the best, or is Arkansas right now?
I think Alabama's the best. But I think Sam Pittman, what he's doing, you've got to take note. You've got to take note because what's going to happen is, and you told me this, when you look back at that cycle, Sam Pittman didn't get the attention. He's a heck of a football coach because he's kind of old school. He kind of does it the way that Georgia does it, and Georgia does it the way that Alabama does. They build the trenches. They build up. They're not afraid to bloody people's nose. And I think Alabama has got to – I think they're soft.
Okay. So your schedule's terrible. I mean, you play La Monroe and Vanderbilt the next 2 weeks. I mean, that's just awful.
And Austin,
I can't believe you go to that. I got to give you credit. You're a dedicated man. You go to those games. You know me. You and I talk about this all the time. Games like this, I'll stay for about a quarter. I'm heading out, right? Go meet some buddies, something. You stay the whole time. So. I mean, how bored are you going to be the next 2 weeks with La Monroe and Vanderbilt at home in Bryant-Denny?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, though. They got it. Play calling. Don't focus. Nick Saban reminded us La Monroe's a good team. They got a good coach. Coach talk. They're a 49-point spread. Okay, so you got to worry about covering the spread. But the other part is you got to see if you're better. I mean, listen, Utah State. Go back and watch that game. I know it was 55-0, but look at what their defensive front did to Alabama. Look at what their offensive front did to Alabama's. Alabama had no sacks in that game. None. They had one quarterback hurry against Utah State.
Hey, let me ask you this. Did you listen? Saban did his show last night at Bob Baumgart's, right? Is that?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Right.
Did you listen to it?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Because you were the one that told us last year or the year before that people actually get there at 10 a.m. or 11 in the morning.
No, 5 a.m. You got to get there at 5 a.m. to start signing up.
Can you imagine? I don't.
No, I've never been. Not going to go.
Oh, my gosh.
5 a.m.
5 a.m. to go and see Saban tell you that La Monroe has a good team. All right, so let's move on. I think the Arkansas game is going to be super competitive in Fayetteville in 3 weeks. I can't wait to watch it, and that could be a lot of fun. So, Mississippi State, LSU, who do you like and why?
I think Mississippi State's a good-looking football team. I like Will Rogers, man. I like Mississippi State. They're, even though Arizona, but to go to that environment, that time zone, and do what they did, I like Mississippi State. And I'm not exactly sure. I was subscribing to Brian Kelly before the season. I don't know. I don't know if he's really, truly a fit there. I mean, I think the talent is going to be there for him. And I think he's a good coach. But I'm not sure we're ready to king Baton Rouge as a second team in the SEC. Mississippi State wins.
All right. So you like the Dogs. What do you think about the Aggies?
You want to ask me about Auburn, Penn State?
Well, let's do that. All right. Auburn hosts Penn State, and Penn State is a 3-point favorite. Who do you like, Penn State or Auburn tomorrow on CBS?
See, we've been debating this. Do you want Brian Harsin to win enough that they can't fire him and he can't find another job? I don't think that happens. Penn State beats Auburn. Penn State beats Auburn. Auburn is not a good-looking football team.
No.
The only 4-star that they had committed just decommitted. So he sees the rats are jumping off the ship down in Lee County.
Wow. Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa on the Yuengling Lager guest line. What about Miami at A&M? Jimbo's going to go with Max Johnson, which I think will be an upgrade.
My heart tells me Miami, but I think that thing's misled me a few times. So I think Texas A&M wins, but I don't think they cover.
Okay, that's what I picked.
I mean, that line is confusing.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
So the talent's there, but their feelings are hurt. They're ticked off. I think Texas A&M wins. I just don't think they cover.
Okay. All right, let's talk about really important things. When was the last time you went to Dreamland?
Yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yes.
What did you have?
Yesterday. I did a pork sandwich. It's called a Big Daddy pork sandwich, and did some beans, did some fries, and a lot of bread and sauce.
Okay.
And a glass of sweet tea. But if my doctor's listening, it's unsweet tea.
Got it. That sounds like a healthy Sunbelt meal on a Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Pulled pork sandwich.
And I left nothing on the plate. There was nothing. I literally took the last piece of bread and went around the plate just to make sure.
So when I come to Tuscaloosa, we're going to Dreamland, and I'm going to have a better experience because you know the menu better than I do, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I can connect you with the best stuff. Oh yeah, and we're not paying for it either. I mean, that's the thing.
I'm in.
I mean,
wait, I have a question, Ryan.
Yeah.
Would Bo be allowed to eat
minute.
there? Because Bo's never put sauce on anything in his life.
Hell.
He hates sauce. Would they let him eat at Dreamland if he doesn't like sauce?
No. I want sauce on the side. I want to be able to dip it. I want to be able to dip the sauce. See what I'm saying?
well, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can dip it. Yeah.
Do they serve
You
beer?
don't like sauce on? They do.
Okay.
They do. But they have better sweet tea, and the sweet tea is outstanding.
Yeah,
It's called Big
I don't
Daddy
drink sweet tea, dude.
Oh my Lord!
I know it.
Bo, I mean, I've lost faith in you in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I love you.
Don't have sauce?
Hey, I'm going to be thinking about you tomorrow. I'm going to be cooking on the grill, hanging out on the lake, and having my beverage of choice while you have to watch Bama and La Monroe.
Well, and then Auburn
Good
and
hell.
Penn State at the same time. All right.
Be
Y'all
good.
take care of my boy Lane Kiffin. He's coming to Tuscaloosa when old Nick's done, okay?
All right, Lane train to Alabama. See you, dude. Be good. Enjoy La Monroe and Vanderbilt.
Roll Tide.
All right, roll Tide. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. We'll be back here on Monday. Can't wait to see what shakes out. Thanks for listening to the show. Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. If you missed anything this week, we would love for you to go to Apple Podcast and search the Out of Bounds show with Bo Bounds, or Spotify, or hit the Out of Bounds radio app. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. We'll see you Monday.